Yes.
And so the biggest thing that I love to do for people is to start to direct them in opening their awareness in ways where they can experience themselves beyond their thoughts. And so for many people, being in their thoughts and being in their mind and identifying with their thoughts is actually a coping strategy to not feel the physical pain in their body or to not feel the emotional pain in their body.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And and so
Sorry,
if
go
we're not,
ahead.
yeah, if we're not feeling it, if we're not getting with it, if we're not bringing safety and resource and experience, if we're not processing what's happening, then there's really no opportunity for change, right? Our awareness brings so much life force and so much opportunity and so much love, that is basically magic, so we're kind of programming reality with our awareness and the attention that we place on it, including ourselves. And so the beliefs that we have about our healing process, the way that we're experiencing ourselves in our healing process are all really primary ways to break through the limitation of our, uh, we'll call it condition or disease process. And in the disease or condition, I use these words lightly, dis-ease or condition, I would say, is like experience, is I think like our body and our parts, it's like the manifestation of our experience, and it's wanting to show us something. It's revealing something to us about who we are, how we're living life, how can we be in more authenticity, how can we be in more alignment. And I think all of our life is a reflection of that. It's just feedback.
Yes. Yes. I love this. And I think, especially to people that's listening, probably people that have been dealing with chronic pain or any situations, sensations on their body that are not the most comfortable for a while. And as part of surviving, we tend to try to ignore that. Let me try to numb that. Let me try to not look that way. I'll take this pill, or I'll focus on whatever else. I'll scroll on my Instagram, but I'm not paying attention to that pain. And sometimes it's, as we talk, it's part of trying to survive. But then comes this other part that you were talking about, and I think it's very important to talk a little bit more. How are we expecting for us to be able to heal something in our bodies that we are not present with, that there's a part in our body that it's not being seen? How are we going to heal that? And for me, it was mind-blowing when I learned this with you, how the AAA concept and all of this. Don't know if you want to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. Yeah, really beautiful. The AAA is a framework that is basically used in all of the wisdom traditions. It's called something else, or it's maybe described in a different way, but it's like, how can we be present moment per moment with what's arising? And how can we accept it is as it is and allow it to evolve in the moment? And so AAA is awareness, acknowledgement, and acceptance. And awareness is having the capacity to actually see what's happening, right? It's being aware of what's happening. And the other option is to like to not be aware of it. And I'm trying to think of it's obvious, but I'm trying to think of another way to actually frame that. But it's like, there's a lot in life that we can walk around and not even be aware of, right? And especially if we're in pain, we can basically just compartmentalize and not experience it, right? Or we can numb it, or we can write it off as like an example that I like to use is like, say there's a specific part of my elbow hurts when I do a specific movement, right? But my mind can compartmentalize it and say, oh, I've got a bad arm, right? Or I've got a bad elbow. And my mind might even write it off and be like, oh, it hurts all the time, right? Until we start getting aware, bring awareness to it and be like, actually, it's just the inside tip here. And it's when I extend fully, and it's when I feel inflamed and after I eat like certain foods, right? So awareness and then acknowledgement is, how can I allow myself to fully feel it? How can I like embrace it? How can I welcome it into my experience? Because what we resist tends to persist. And the function of our mind is to judge. And when we judge something, there's a level of constriction and it makes it out to be that way. Right. So so by experiencing it fully, we're allowing it to basically move. And by accepting it, we're not resisting it. We're accepting it as it is. And by allowing it to move and allowing the energy to move, we're opening it up to transitioning and evolving into something new. And it doesn't have to be stuck at that point because we're allowing ourselves to fully feel it. And so, yeah, those are some of the things around AAA that I find super powerful.
Yes.